go over one of my facilities today. I'm so excited about this facility, and I'm going to go over it and kind of how I find it. We're closing on one facility next week. I'm not going to talk about that one. I'm going to talk about a different one that I have under contract. I'm really excited about this one. If you guys aren't following me on social media, if y'all could please make sure that y'all do that. I'm on YouTube. You can just search Stacy Rossetti Teaches, all kinds of YouTube stuff on there, videos or whatever. And then also Facebook. I'm on Facebook, and then I'm on, I guess I'm on Instagram. Right. So, and I'm on LinkedIn too. So depending on what social media platform you are, then make sure that you follow me, because we post out like all kinds of different trainings and stuff. And that way you can really learn how to invest in self-storage. All right. So if you don't know who I am, this is your first time hanging out with me. We own 8 storage facilities as of right now. We're in the process of buying 3 more. One of them has title issues that we were supposed to close in August, and we still haven't closed it yet, but I just got word last week that it's getting ready to be closed. What happened with that one is the owner that owns that facility had owned it for 20 years. And I guess when the attorney beforehand had closed the deal, they did not do the title search correctly. And so it was not in his name correctly. The legal description was not correct, and it was totally screwed up. And guess what? The previous owners were all dead. So he had to go through the probate process and reprobate it, and then they had to get the legal description and stuff done. So it took a good, we were supposed to close in July, and I just got word that everything went through now. So that's like August, September, another 2-3 more months. And we had it under contract for 90 days. We're supposed to close in 90 days. So it's really a 6-month deal. So we were supposed to close that. And now it's finally going to close in the next month or so. So I'm really excited about that one. That's in Georgia. I live in Georgia. Well, I don't really live in Georgia. Our location as of right now is in Georgia. As of the end of this month, we are moving into an RV, and my husband and my daughter and I will be traveling the country in an RV. And so as of right now, we live in Georgia, but like in 2 weeks, who knows where we're going to be, right? That's the one thing I love about self-storage investing, is that you could just be anywhere in the country and run your storage facilities. But all of our storage facilities are in Georgia. We're buying 2 now in Florida. I'm looking forward to going global. I'm calling it going global. And then we're going to start looking. We're basically going to look like from Georgia, Florida, all the way to Texas, and kind of, because I'm originally from Texas, so we'll be driving from Austin to Florida back and forth a lot. And so we'll just look for storage facilities along the way. Might as well, right? Might as well just be like, all right, we're driving, might as well look for some storage facilities. Anything that we don't find, anything that we don't buy, that we're like, okay, this is not in our wheelhouse, this is not something that we look for, then we just wholesale that. So if you're the type of person here that's listening and you're like, I really want to get into self-storage investing, but I don't have any money right now, you have to learn how to wholesale self-storage. Okay. That's what you got to do. Learn how to wholesale self-storage so that you can get that first deal sold. And then you can take that money from your first deal and you can use it as a down payment for your first facility. Okay. And if you go onto the YouTube page, if you go into my free trainings at stacyrossetti.com, I do sessions on wholesaling self-storage as well. You need to learn how to, everybody should be learning how to wholesale self-storage, right? Everybody's like, I just want to buy. But the truth of the matter is what happens when you get out and start looking for storage is that different facilities come across your plate and you're just like, this does not fit into my wheelhouse. Either it's too small or too big or whatever. And so you can always just put it under contract and then go out and find a buyer for it. If you find a facility that you're like, okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to buy this one for some reason, then just put it under contract, let me know, and I'll help you to find a buyer. Okay. because I got a whole group full of coaching students, right? Then they're all looking for properties, and they're all looking for properties to buy, storage facilities to buy across the country, anywhere in the country. And and so if you can't find a buyer, or if you don't want to buy it, then just contact me and I'll help you find a buyer, because one of my students will probably buy it, right? And that being said, what I want to do is I'm going to go over this facility that I have in Florida today. And it turns out to be like a really good deal. I'm really excited about it, and I thought I would just share it with you. I've shared it a couple of times here on the Monday night, but we've got some new exciting news that I wanted to tell everybody about as well too. If you have been here before, you may have seen it. But I was going to share my screen essentially and just show you how we organize the folder that we have. And I was thinking about either buying this facility or wholesaling this facility. Now, the reason I was going to wholesale this facility, because most of the time I just buy my facilities. Okay. Most of the time I just buy them. But because I don't want to give them away because they're so good, right? But I focus on mismanaged facilities, right? If anybody knows me, you know that I buy mismanaged facilities. A mismanaged facility means that it's not being run properly. It's not at the highest value that it can possibly be at. And it is also probably 25% empty, vacant, or more, right? So usually my properties, when we buy them, are like 25 to 50% full. The owners just don't want to deal with them anymore. They're just tired of them. All right. So that's what I buy personally. We like mismanaged facilities is what we like. But this property, and it's so funny because I've said this before, we're buying two properties in the same area. One of them is a mismanaged facility, and the other one is this one. It's an income producing property. And we're going to keep the mismanaged facility one. We may keep the income producing one, but we may not. Just all depends on who we can get to partner with us. Or we're going to, if somebody gives us a great deal, we'll wholesale it to somebody. If somebody wants to give me a good price for it, I'll wholesale it, right? But we're not going to just give it away, that's for sure. But yeah, so we have an income producing property and a mismanaged property within the same 5 mile area. And I'm really, and so we can really just keep this when we want, but I'm going to show it to you and you guys let me know what y'all think. Okay. And another thing to add to this is that we put it under contract. And I talked to the owner and I was like, yeah, I want to buy it. And he was like, sure, I'll sell it to you. I'll give you a good price. And I said, okay. And so we came up with the price together. And and then I said, then I was like, okay, we'll just, I'll just go out and find find money for it. And I'll just find some money for it. It's an income producing property. So it's very easy to go to a bank and get a loan for an income producing property. Now it's not producing what it should be producing. Right now it's producing around $70,000 a year, and it should be producing about $90,000. It's 100% full, but the prices are not what they should be. The prices have all been increased. And so this year it's going to make $90,000, but up until now, he did not increase the prices. He was making $70,000. All right. So we'll get into that as I kind of show you what it looks like, the numbers and stuff. So we have, if you join Storage Nerds, which is my coaching program, so you can go to storagenerds.com and just check out, and the doors are open from now until for the next couple of weeks. I only open the doors to my coaching program a couple times a year. And the reason why is because my goal is to help my students get their first deal under contract within the next 90 days, right? So the doors are open now, and then we're going to be focusing on getting you guys a deal. But anyways, in the coaching program, I took the students last Friday. Was it last Friday or the Friday before? I can't remember. And we went to this property, and it was like the best day ever. It was the best day ever. So in the coaching program, we do what's called Infield training days. And I have been doing them like once a quarter, but I'm starting to do them more and more and more because we have so many students. And then I live in my RV right now, so I'll be traveling around the country. So I'll be like, all right, we're going to be over here. Let's just do an infield training day, right? So we'll be in. We're doing this the last one here in Atlanta this month. Next month we'll be in Texas, and then we'll be in New York after that. And then after that, I'm not 100% sure where we're going to be. We may be in Maine. We might go to Maine for the winter. But anyways, so I took like a handful of students like last Friday to do this infield training day, and I took them to this facility plus the other facility and one more. We did 3 facilities, and I introduced them to the owners of the facility. So they got to meet the owner of the mismanaged facility, and we got to meet the owner of this facility as well too, and then one other owner. And it was such a good day because, all the students got to talk to owners and really get to know like how the owners are, what they think. And the truth of the matter is these owners are really they're just like regular people. They're just regular people. And I brought like my arbitrage with me, and I was like, and I called them all my partners. I was like, Randy, I'm going to bring all my partners with me. They all want to introduce you. And in fact, we also had lenders that were coming that had money to look at the deal. And the lenders that came to look at the deal, they just loved the deal, and they loved the fact that they got to meet all my students and they got to meet the owners, and the owner loved the fact that they got to meet like everybody as well too. And the owner was very, very impressed. But when I was talking to him on that Friday, and I hadn't told this to any of the other students and that had come, but I talked to the owner. I was like, hey, I didn't really ask this because I figured I could just bring money. Obviously you can see I can bring money. I said, but would you be interested in owner financing? Because I figure maybe you could, if you're interested, you could make money on this deal as well too, and we could just work together and partner together. And he was like, you know what, I never really thought about that, but I would be interested in doing that. So we talked about it. So after the session, then we came back, and last week we talked about it, and he said, yeah, I do want to owner finance. He said, I talked to my owner. I talked to my accountant, and my accountant said it's a great idea, just owner finance. And that way I could just, delay the tax repercussions for the next couple of years. He said, so would you be interested in owner financing? And I said, sure. So now what I need to do is on this deal, we're going to get into it. And what I need to do is find somebody that's going to bring the money for the down payment, and we can partner on this deal. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next couple of weeks, is finding somebody to partner. Now, usually with my students, I partner with my students first. So I'm going to be talking to my students about them as well. See, but I want to just put this out there to you guys that I'm always opening to partnering with people on deals. And this owner, just such a nice guy. And he was like, yeah, I'll partner with you. I'll owner finance it to you. So let's get into that, so I can show you the deal, show you everything about it. And then let's try to figure out how, what you think the best way to work this deal out would be, right? Because when you start getting into commercial deal analysis, commercial, structuring, commercial real estate investing, it's all about how you can structure the deal. Right. And you really need to learn commercial deal analysis, and you really need to learn how to structure the deal, and you need to learn how to utilize other people's money in order to find your deals. Right. I told you I own a lot of property, and I haven't put a dime of my own money into them, because what I do is I just partner with people, or I just partner with people is what I do. And we've become, like, my husband and I have become managers of facilities, right? That's what we do, is we're just really good at we're very good at finding deals, and very good at coming up with money to purchase the deals. And we're very good at managing our facilities. Now, when you get into the commercial real estate world, essentially this is kind of how it works out. Like, so a lot of people come into storage investing and they think, okay, I have $50,000. So that means that I can afford a $300,000 facility. All right. And the truth of the matter is that when you have $50,000 and other people that are interested in buying the same thing that you want to buy, what you can do is you can form a company together, and then you can leverage that money and go out and buy bigger deals. right? And this is what we do a lot of times as well too. So one of my students right now is buying a $3 million facility and is only putting $150,000 into the deal. All right, because we're all partnering together and putting money in, and they're going to be the ones that are managing the deal and managing it. And I bring all the people in to do the deals together. It's actually awesome, and it's a great way for you to get into real estate investing. So don't think there's just one lane to get into self-storage investing. There's not just one lane. There's not just, oh, I have $50,000 and I can afford a $300,000 facility. There is a lot of different ways for you to get into self-storage investing if you learn how to do creative deal structuring. All right. So this is bigger than what you think it is. Now, is anybody here like getting what I'm saying? Can you put into the chat, please? Like I'm totally lost, or yes, Stacy, I'm getting this, or like, if you have any questions or anything like that. So put into the chat kind of what you're thinking. All right. So at least I know if you're listening to me. Okay. But yeah, so good. A lot of people are getting that. Okay, good. So we are, so we're looking at this deal, and good, awesome. We're looking at this deal here. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to get into this deal, which is, where is it? Is it this one? Yeah. Rainbow Self Storage, which I love the name Rainbow Self Storage. And my daughter, if she would have named our storage facility company, she would have named it Rainbow Self Storage. She's 5 years old. And that's what she says. She wants us to have Rainbow Self Storage. So we probably end up having some Rainbow Self Storages. Maybe we'll just keep it Rainbow Self Storage. But so this deal here is in Live Oak, Florida. And I'm going to try to find the picture for this. Let's see if we can find these. Okay, this is what it looks like. Actually, what I wanted to do, let's see, is show some pictures to you. This is the Infield training day. This is my daughter right here, Lillian. This is my husband, Pete. And the owner's right here in the white t-shirt. And then these are all the students that came to hang out. And then Chris is over here. This is my acquisitions person. And this is Rainbow Self Storage. Now, Rainbow Self Storage sits on almost 2 acres. This is the lender right here. He's hanging out. There's a couple lenders hiding in there somewhere. And so let me see. I wonder if I play this, if y'all can hear this. Y'all let me know. Put a yes in the chat or no. No, I don't think y'all could hear this. I don't think so. No, y'all won't be able to hear it. But at least y'all could see it. You don't need to hear it. Y'all could just see it. So this is what it looks like. All right. So this is the video. And this is, so he has place for parking over there, but he doesn't really have anything for parking. These are all 5x10s right here. These are on the edges, are usually the 5x10s. And you can tell how big they are by just looking at them, right? And look at the side and see, these are all 10x10s or 10x20s, but this is like a 5x10 right here. And then you could see as you go through, this is 112 units. Now there's a piece of property right over here as well. Look, he's parking a big rig. See, we do this as well too. We park big rigs in he has a trailer parking right here as well. And he parks big rigs. And we do this as well too. We have a facility almost just like this one, and we have big rigs. And you see where all this grass is clear right here? That is, that's he's adding that to the deal for us. He's like, just such a nice guy. He's like, you know what? You could just have that property as well. And then he was like, he's like, I want to create a new entrance for you guys, so we'll pick a place where you want your entrance, because he has the property. He owns the property right next to it, and he is in the pine straw business. That's what he's in. He's in the pine straw business. It's like the funniest thing. But and he has like, you go into his office and he has like different types of pine straw hanging on his wall. But he is going to he's keeping the pine straw businesses, and he's getting rid of this because he just doesn't want to do it anymore. He's just tired of it, right? And you could just tell, here's where all the parking is supposed to be. It's a lot of land. And then back over here, back where this big rig, he's going to add a whole, like another half acre over there. So it's a total of almost 2 acres of land. And as we go through these pictures, you can see we're walking down. It needs a little bit of work right here. It just needs a little painting is what it needs. Nothing big. And it's a really nice property. It's not bad at all, you know. It's just a regular storage place. And it's got 112 units. Let's see, and this is actually the front side. So the entrance is right here. You see this gate right here. The entrance is right there. His office building, Pine Straw area, is over here. So he does not want us to come in that way. He's going to give us an entrance. He's going to put in an entrance for us because he's got like all the equipment and stuff. He's like, yeah, no, I'll just put it in. He's like, I'll put an entrance. He's not going to put a new gate, so we'll have to move the gate, but he's going to put in a culvert for us, and he's going to put a road in for us so that we can come in a different way. So, but this is the land right here as well too. So there's like a whole big, so you could put like a whole nother building right here. Or he said you could do boat and RV parking because if you see where Live Oak is, you will see that it's right in the middle of the Panhandle. People are all driving down through that area. And he was like, if you could put some, like maybe some covered parking in there, you could also do some boat and RV parking. But he just says he's just not into it at all. Now, let me see. Live Oak looks like this. Live Oak, Florida. It's in the Panhandle. It's right kind of near Jacksonville. And in the area of, let me show you where it's at. It's like near here's Lake City. So it's kind of right in the middle, honestly. Jacksonville's right here, and then Tallahassee. So it's in the middle of Jacksonville and Tallahassee. Lake City's kind of a bigger city. And then this one has like, I think this is like 10,000 people. And then there's like 25,000 people within like a 10-mile radius. And then there's a bigger city right here. We stayed in Lake City. It was like a 20-minute drive to get there. But yeah, it's really not a bad area at all. And what he was saying was that this 441 is where people, and the 129 is where people are coming through to go down to the beach. And he said, like, if you could just have some boat and RV parking there on this main highway, he said it'd be perfect. And then we drove down to Ellisville, which is, let me see if I can find Ellisville. Ellisville is also in this area somewhere. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me go directions. Ellisville. Yeah. Oh, here it is right there. Yeah. See, so Lake City's here, Ellisville over here. And it seems like it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but honestly, there's so many people living in this area. It is not as desolate. I mean, because I was thinking the Panhandle was like, like there are a lot of people there, but there's a lot of people there. This area is a great area to be in because this area, the Panhandle of Florida, is one of the fastest growing areas in the country. And it's actually one of, if you want to live in Florida, this area is where you can get affordable housing still, right? Whereas like if you go anywhere down like south of Ocala, then you're like just starting to get like super expensive, places to live, right? But like in this area, it's still kind of like the good old area. We have a facility in Valdosta. We've got one here in Waycross. We're looking at one over here in the near the water, and then we have another one. We have 2 more that we're looking at over in this area. So this is kind of becoming our area. We own a lot of facilities in the south area of right here. We own a lot of facilities, but we're just kind of gravitating toward this area. Why would I be in this area? Because I want to live near the beach. That's why. Right. I told Chris, our acquisitions person, I was like, just go out and find me some facilities because, like near the beach, because I just want to live near the beach in my RV. And he was like, all right. So he's just driving on this area. We're picking up another one kind of in this area over here as well too. So, we'll buy anywhere like the south of the 20 and then up north of Orlando, essentially. And we'll just buy anywhere in this area. And we'll actually go into South Carolina, and we'll go up in this area too. So it's kind of our area right here. And it's really not a big area. Everybody's always thinking like, oh my gosh, you have to, you have to, you have to live like right next to your storage facility. But the truth of the matter is that once you really automate and systematize these things, like you don't ever have to go. Like we were driving down through Valdosta from Atlanta to go look at the Live Oak facilities. I was like, oh, we should just stop in and check on our facility, and just check on the Valdosta one. And he was like, my husband was like, why? And I was like, to go see it. Like we haven't seen it since like January of this year. And he's like, there's no reason to really go see it. That's Chris's job. So Chris like handles all that and is our boots on the ground person, but he didn't even want to stop in and go check on this facility. We're driving right past it, so that's kind of where we're at with our facilities. Once you automate and systematize everything, there's no reason to like be next to them. And that's why we live in an RV and we travel around everywhere, because we just really want to be hands off, and we want our team to manage all that, right? Once you get to a certain number of units, you can really just delegate that off to your team. And that's what we do. But anyway, so let's get back into this facility here. So this is what it looks like. And oh yeah, this is the owner and this is the lender, right? Talking to each other, right? So I got a picture of them talking. I was like, I got to take a picture of this. But this lender here, this is one of my lenders. He flew in from Seattle to hang out with me for the day. And then this is Randy. This is the owner. So anyway, so this is them talking about like the deal, because he was thinking that he was going to just lend me the money or buy it. He was like, should I buy this or should I lend you the money on it? And I was like, whatever. And then and then they started talking, but then after I talked to Randy later, he was like, you know what, I'll really just owner finance this thing to you if you want. And I was like, man, let's do that. Then that way, because what Randy offered for the terms was he offered 4.5% interest for 10 to 20 years. He said he wants a balloon at 10 years. But we can amortize it over 20 years. Right. Which is like, if you go to a bank and get a loan, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to be getting at the bank. Exactly. Right. That's the terms you're going to get. So, why go to a bank and get a loan? Because I talked to Randy and he was like, if I owner finance you the deal, he's like, do you need anything from me? And I was like, not really, honestly. He's like, well, let me just owner finance it to you. I was like, okay. I just love storage facility owners. They're just so awesome, right? Once you see, I believe in impressing my lenders so much so that they're going to give me the money. They're going to be like, look, take my money. And I also believe that like the owners, this is a typical storage facility owner, right? Now, when you get into the bigger deals, like when you get into like millions of dollars in deals, right? It's a little bit different, right? But these these owners like this, $2 million and less, or maybe $3 million and less, a lot of times they just want to talk to you. They want to connect with you. And that's why I just bring my lenders. I bring anybody interested in the deal, and I'll just we did due diligence that day. And we really just looked at the deal, and my husband gave a thumbs up. He was like, yeah, this is a good deal. Let's buy it, And that's kind of how it worked for us. And this is how he manages his facility. All right. This is how he manages it. This is his chart. Okay. So here's his units, and this is how he keeps them, like he manages this. All right. This is a mismanaged facility. It's 100% full. This facility is 100% full. He's not charging what he should be charging, but he's almost to what he should be charging. I'll show you the numbers in just a minute. But this is how he manages it. All right. This is like not how you should be managing them. And this is what he said. He's like, this is how he manages. He's like, I know I'm supposed to be managing it. Like, he doesn't even have an email, this owner. He doesn't even have an email. All right, so this is what the picture looks like. This is the facility. And see, this is the land. This is where the gate is right here. This is like a whole plot of land that you could put another building. There's a whole lot of, you could put a whole nother building over there. And then over there on the other section that he's adding, you could add like 2 more buildings. So you can add 4 more buildings. That's 100 units. Okay. And I just got these pictures, like, you could tell right off of Google, right? We finally, this is like our due diligence pictures. I was like, oh yeah, that's a good deal. Okay. So that is the pictures of that. That's what it looks like. And he ended up giving us the P&L and the balance sheet. He gave us his rent roll. I started looking at the rent roll. He printed this out from his software that he uses. And you can look, when you look through this, you can see, there's rent is 100, and then there's a 90, there's 90s, and then there's the 40s and 50s and 58 50s and 65s and 55s and 65s and 40s. And you're going through and you're just like, okay, so what is the actual price of your units? And that's what I asked him. I said, what is the price of your units? And he was like, yeah, whatever I feel for the day, that's the price. Like literally there's like no rhyme or reason to his price. And let me see. So let's just get into the numbers so I could show you kind of what it is. So he has 112 units, and we got it under contract for $600,000. Okay, that's what we got it under contract for. He's going to give us 4.5% interest at 240 months. Okay, which is like, how long is that? That's 20 years, right? Yeah. The cap rate, we're running the cap rate at, like, in this area, you could run it as, I was just looking at the numbers, 7 cap, 8 cap. You could look at whichever cap rate you want, but you could, for that area, it's between a 7 and 8 cap probably. Florida is kind of a higher cap rate, honestly, because there's so many people that want to buy in Florida. So you can get like a really high cap rate. I mean, you can get like really low cap rates, right? A lot of people are willing to pay a little bit more because Florida is like one of the fastest growing, states in the, in the country, right? So if you get out to like Missouri or like Kansas or where in Nebraska, right? You're gonna be like lower, you're gonna have like higher cap rates. But here you have like a pretty good cap. You have like, now I always try to use like 8, because 8% cap rate is like, if you're gonna get, like, if I went to go get this facility appraised, I would most likely it'll be appraised at an 8 cap. Right, I'm guessing it's usually in tertiary markets. It's usually around an 8 cap. That's what the appraisers are going to be using. So I run them kind of at an 8 cap. The receipts, I put 7. He's making around $72,000 right now. Okay, and he has 112 units. It's 12,000 square feet. Vacancy is 8%. There's obviously you could see there's like hardly anything. I mean, maybe some painting of some doors or whatever, but like not a lot of stuff to do for CapEx or anything, right? And then repair property taxes, $6,800, utilities and insurance. Okay. And I would probably get in and fight some of that, but you could probably lower it a little bit. So as you can see, I also ran the numbers at 212 units, $22,075, because he did raise the rates. He said he just raised the rates. So by the end of the year, he's going to make 90,000 instead of 70,000, right? So we should really be making that much. Now I could take this out and I could do 112. Right. And then just keep this at 12,000. This is the square feet. And then I could just calculate it based on the rate that he's going to get, which is now 75 cents a square foot. Okay, so he'll make around, he's at 75 cents a square foot now because he just raised the rates. Okay, does that make sense? So as you can see, it's valued at maybe, 500, 550, something like this. Okay, so I've paid too much for this on the front end, essentially, is what people would say. But I like to look at like what, as soon as I raise the rates, as soon as we get those rates going by the end of the year, it's really going to be this much, right? So it's really kind of valued at this much. So once we start making this 100 grand, which he should be making 100 grand, because I have several facilities that are around the same number of units, and we're at 100 grand for those. So he really should be at 100 grand. He's just not charging what he should be. And so it's valued really at around 850 grand is what it is. Okay, so by the end of the year, it'll be valued at this month. So I'm already in an equity of $250,000, which I think is amazing. I mean, y'all can put your 2 cents in, but I think that's amazing just by buying the facility. Okay, now remember that he's got to owner finance this. Now he wants $200,000 down. All right. And then he'll owner finance the 400,000 plus, whatever, we'll figure it out. We could always work through something, but he'll owner finance the 400,000 at 4.5% interest for 24 months. So now what I have to do, right, for structuring is I have to go out and find that $200,000. Okay, I have to go out and find the $200,000. So that's my job, is to ask everybody in the world if anybody wants to partner with me to bring that $200,000 to the deal. Now, the person that's going to bring the $200,000, they've got to be okay with us adding more units, because this facility is 100% full and he has a wait list. He's got 20 people already on the wait list waiting for a thing. And the other facility that we're buying, the mismanaged facility, is also 100% full, except for and it's 100 units and they're only making $40,000. So we're going to be able to immediately raise those rates, right? As well too. I'm really excited about that deal. But so now we need to come up with we need to add 100 units, right? So that's why I was running the numbers based on that. So it's 212 units, add another 10,000 square feet. All right, so 22,000 square feet, and it's going to come out to 1.8 million, but it's going to cost me about $350,000 to build that. It might be a little bit less. I calculated $35 a square foot, but it's about $25 to $35 a square foot, and hopefully it'll go down cheaper, because right now steel prices are super expensive. So I calculated on the high end. But as you can see, right, I mean, it's valued at $1.8 million. I have an equity of like 900. I mean, we're going to make $1 million on this deal. Essentially, if we can spend $350,000 on putting four new buildings in, we're going to make $1 million on this deal, which is a 16% cap rate. I mean, that is an amazing cap rate. That's an amazing cap rate. And I see a couple questions. So put your questions in. All right. Because I just kind of go through. So Robbie, I said it's 350. I'm expecting $350,000 for that. And Robbie's one of my students as well too. But yes, $350,000. What, Robbie, do you have $200,000? You want to partner with me on this deal? And so like that's what I'm looking at. I'm telling you, this is an awesome deal. I just need somebody to partner with me that has 550 grand, and actually 200 grand to buy it. And then we can come up with 350 grand later is what we can do, right? We'll come up with the phase 2. The phase 1 is getting in there and, getting it up and running and stuff like this, right? And then phase 2 will be next year. And hopefully by next year, the steel price will be going down. And then we'll try to figure, and then we'll look into upgrading this facility. So that's kind of how it works with me. I'm just showing you my thought process on how it works. Right now, if I sold this property, I would sell it for 700 grand. I would sell it for 700 grand. So if somebody wants to come in with $700,000, maybe I'll sell it and just make 100 grand on it. right? And if you came in and ran the numbers at 700,000, now that means I'll wholesale it, right? So we have it under contract, so I'll wholesale it. $700,000, you're going to be, you know, at an A cap, you're going to be in $200,000 in over your head. So you're going to have to build in order to make money on this deal. But if you can come up with $1 million, essentially, you know, for the purchase plus the 350,000, then essentially you'll make around $800,000 on the deal. Okay, that's an awesome deal anyways. But what I really want is I want $200,000, somebody to bring $200,000 in partners so I can owner finance this deal and then we can do it later. All right. But, you know, when I'm looking at my deals and looking at my numbers and stuff, what I'm doing today is just showing you my thought process and showing you how you can purchase deals and come up with deals and see deals in a different way. Because guess what? 90% of the people that look at this deal are going to say, no, I would never buy this deal, because right now, you know, at 12,000 square feet, it's not a good deal. So most people, when they come into the as is price, you know, when they look at it, they just look at the as is price, right? They just look at the as is price. And I mean, I talked to one owner, we picked up a great deal, and the guy was like, I want this much money. And he was like, every week somebody's calling and asking me, you know, if I'll sell, and they tell me I want this much money. And he's like, nobody ever wants to buy it. I said, yeah, I'll buy it for that price. Because guess what? I paid 300 grand for this. That thing's gonna be worth like $1 million. And all we have to do is clean it up. But he wasn't making any money. So you'd have to come out of pocket every single month. Now, the question is, like, you know, now the good thing is that this is already producing income, right? So for us to come out with, for us to come up with the mortgage, right? Like, you know, we can see, like, so this is like this is the sheet that you get if you join Storage Lord. This is our deal analyzer. So we're going to put 200,000 as a down payment. I tried to get him to 150, but he won 200 grand, right? And so we're going to owner finance it. This is at 700,000, right? So we're going to put down 600,000 to owner finance for this amount of time. And we're going to come up, our mortgage is only $1,500 a month, $1,500 a month, right? Something like this. And he said he would even amortize it if we wanted to pay less, because all he wants is the balloon at 10 years, you know, but, so, you know, when you look at the numbers, what you want to do is you just want to make sure that, you know, you can pay the mortgage and the bills. As you can see, like, here's the bills. It's going to cost $38,000 for the year, and it's $72,000. Now you could put 120 months. No, actually, you could just pay it at 120 months, and then you see it's sorry, I got to get out of that space. And then you could see what the mortgage is going to be, right? So if it's 4.5% for 120 months, right, at 600,000, you're going to pay $18,000 for your mortgage, and you're going to. This is the expenses that we have, all right. But you can just look at it, and you can look at. I mean, you could essentially look at the NOI, all right. So the NOI as is $23,000 with your mortgage. And right, and then after updates, if you came in, you'd be netting around 50 grand. Let's see. Go here. This is us this is 112 units. Yeah, see, so we're just raising. So essentially, I'll be netting. The NOI is really, by the time we get to 99,000, the NOI is 50,000. I mean, sorry, the NOI is 68,000, and after the mortgage will be netting 50,000, if that makes sense, right? Because your NOI does not include your mortgage. Okay, which is awesome. I mean, making like 50 grand, netting 50 grand for this deal just by buying it, because he's already raised all the rates. Okay, now if we come in and we do 212 units at 22,000 square feet, all right, and then we put 350,000 in for CapEx. Right now, if we go over here, we'll look, we're going to net $117,000, because he'll just like do whatever mortgage. deal. I just love this deal. So anyway, so I'm super excited about this deal. Any questions on it? All right, I can see some chat. Let me get into the chat here. After the 350 spin, what is the expected annual revenue? Oh, you saw that. Yeah. It's the revenue is a net of 117,000. The net is 117,000. Let me get in here and let's look at this. 117,000. Let me share my screen and I'll show you again. Okay, Jerry. And Jerry's also in the coaching program. So Jerry, you have 200 grand? Let's partner on this. Okay, so here it is. It's netting 100. The NOI is 151,000. And the net is 117,000. Okay. That's a great deal. And actually, Jerry was there. Put your thoughts in there because you actually went to the thing. What did you think about this deal? And what did you think about Friday? All right. So Jerry was there. So he was there the whole time. So he knows this deal very well. And I was going to talk about this deal tomorrow too, Jerry. That's what I was going to go over. It's the exact same thing. But yeah, so there's that. Let me see. Let's get into my chat. Stop screen share. And Christine says, I want in. Hit me up. Ravi, can I get the numbers? Yes. Yeah, you can get the numbers on this. I'm going to talk about this deal tomorrow, and then I was going to share the numbers with anybody that shows up to the thing tomorrow. I like the deal as is. Yeah. Oh, you mean like not even building is what you're saying? Look, see, Jerry's already thinking outside the box. I love it. Yeah, just like I said, but let's just close on this deal. Whoever I partner with, we're going to close on this deal. And then after that, we can think about phase 2, once we get this thing up and running and stuff like that, you know. The staffing number is 6,200. What is that paying for? That is paying for Bonnie, who is our operations manager that answers all the phones. So that's an annual number. That's an annual number. So we calculate roughly around $300 a week is what we calculate to manage the facility. I think it's 300. I can't remember, but actually that must be less than 300. Actually, you can look at the deal analyzer and look at the formula. 6,200 is, yeah, $300 a week basically is what it is. Okay. And then this is the boots on the ground, like person plus Chris plus, you know, any expenses. I can't get into it. It's not letting me. Okay. There it is. No, maybe I can move this up a little bit. There it goes. Okay. That is, that's C6 times 0.015. So C6 is, oh, it's the purchase price times 0.015. So I don't know how he came up with that, but that's the number that Pete came up with for the boots on the ground and all the maintenance and stuff. So he's like, essentially what Pete did this is my husband, Pete, he put the deal analyzer together and he really just, he looked at our numbers. So these expenses are really based on our numbers, but I tell everybody don't it's like your numbers are going to be close to this really. The only thing that because the software is $3,600, software costs about $300 a month. As you can see, yeah, $300 a month. Marketing for the deal is about, so much it's about maybe $100, $150 a month, something like this. It doesn't cost a lot of money to market for these things once you learn how to do it properly. Now, if you use Sparefoot or something like that, but you're not going to learn that when you join Storage Nerds. All right, so that's kind of what it's looking at. I mean, I think this is a great deal. And like I said, I'm just so excited to find this deal. And what I want to say is that we got out there, we called this owner, we started talking to him, and then we went out there and really introduced ourselves and spent time. And I sat in his office for an hour and he told us his life story. We came out, we visited him. And because of that, he's okay with owner financing to us, all right, as well. But I could always sell this as well. You know what I'm saying? I could do whatever, or I could go get a loan at a bank if I wanted to do that. But I like to just partner with people is what I like to do. Okay, let me see. Let me go back in here. I'm driving so I can look at the numbers. Jerry, it is his 4.6 only interest with the balloon, no payment. to the principal. I also ran a 20, no, it's 4.5 interest, like on the, like it's an interest loan. It's basically like a bank loan. It's what it is. It's not an interest only loan. Like you can pay, like you could do the interest, you need to do like a mortgage is what you need to do. Yes, exactly. It came out to, when I was running the numbers, Jerry, it came out to like $2,500 a month is what it came out to. Okay. It's a loan. It's not an interest only loan. It's like a real bank loan. Like we will be paying down the principal and interest. Okay. I don't think you heard this, but I have a past customer from a past business located there in Live Oak, and like him, my guy Sam has lived there forever. They know each other. Oh, that's so funny. See, small world. Okay. Is there any staffing that interacts with the public on site? No. We are a complete, well, actually their office is like right there. So people could just drive up because they have their Pine Straw office right there. But essentially for us personally, we are completely electronic, completely contactless, e-contact, whatever you want to call it in the industry now. That's what you call it. Okay. So we have nobody that is face to face, and we're 100% full. We have 1,000 doors. You know what I'm saying? And like I have not met any of our tenants in years. Okay. Anyway, did I miss any questions? Are you asking for a minimum? I don't know what that means, Christine. Frank, I would love to have a crack at this at a facility like this. Exactly. I'm telling y'all, this is like the perfect facility. I love this facility so much. Anyway, so if you could please, message me if you're interested. I always like to work with my students first. So Ravi and Jerry are on here. John is on here. I set a meeting with you on Wednesday. Awesome. So 200 down, as is, annual income of 20,000, 350 for improvements, and then it will be 131 annually. If partnered, how are we partnering? I'm going to be talking to you about that stuff on my webinar, public to everybody. All right. That's not something that you talk about publicly. If you're going to be partnering with people, you need to be talking to them and figuring out the deal together. Okay. And every single deal, everything is structured completely different. And it's all about just how we can create win-win solutions with each other, win-win partnerships. Like this is not, you don't sit there and talk to people about partnering when you're on a webinar. We're trying to teach people that have no idea how to invest in investing, people that are willing to talk to me and stuff like that. All right. So just so you know. That's why I said it sent on private. Okay, yeah. No, I'm not going to be talking about that even on this webinar. I'm going to be teaching. So if you're interested in partnering, you're more than welcome to set an appointment and we could discuss that. We could discuss that separately. Okay. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, good. Robbie says, I like your philosophy of working and partnering. Okay, good. Okay, good. All right. Any other final questions? I get this. There's some questions in the Q&A. Let me make sure. What happens if the interest rate goes up? So cap rate goes up, so valuation goes down. What do you mean if interest rate goes up? I'm not 100% sure what you mean on that. Okay, Robbie, how were you able to connect with the seller and plan this meeting? I just called up and told them we're all coming. This was the Infield training day on Friday. I wish you would have came because you live in Florida, Robbie. Everybody in Florida came. So 200 down. Yeah, you got that. Okay, good. Yeah, so this was everybody in Florida and even people from Georgia came in and we all like hung out together on the day for the Infield training day. Okay. I know you said, I know you were with your family and stuff. I get that. Now tomorrow for all my students, make sure you show up for the group coaching session. So that's tomorrow. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And then anybody that's interested in getting to know, like to talk to me about this deal, all you have to do is just email questions at stacyrossetti.com, and I'll make sure that you can get on the meeting tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a meeting and discuss it, or we could do, if you're really like, look, I want to partner, like I want to bring this, I'm going to do this, then just talk to me. We'll set up an appointment. Okay. Questions at stacyrossetti.com is my thing, but my always give first dibs to my students. So I'm doing that today, doing it tomorrow in the coaching session. I'll do it in the meeting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. First dibs to students. And then after that, if nobody wants to do it. I think maybe I already have the money, but I'm not sure. Now, I was going to say, storage nerds, the doors are open for storage nerds. The doors are only open for the next couple of weeks, and then they close again. We have a 2-day boot camp coming up on October 10th and 11th. All right. Only students can come to that 2-day boot camp. So if you are interested in joining Storage Nerds, go to storagenerds.com, and then you can set an appointment with me to discuss the coaching program. I just want to make sure doors are open for the next couple of weeks, and then they close. Storagenerds.com. Yep. Storagenerds.com is the website. Okay. And that way you can get it. What I'm doing is I always talk to everybody first, just to make sure that you really, are interested in doing this, if it's a good fit, if you're ready, because essentially get into coaching. I want you within the next, couple of months, you got to find a store. You got to get out there and look, right? If you got to make it a priority, get out there and look. If you're not putting in offers, then you're never going to get a facility. All right. If you're not talking to owners, you're never going to get a facility. So you got to put the work in to get the facility. All right. But we do have a lot of students in the program that are learning just to wholesale. They want to wholesale So you can find some deals that way as well. All right. Okay. I appreciate your time. Thank you for hanging out with me. Oh yeah. By the way, I was going to say, what do you think about this deal? Put into the chat. Right? Is it a good deal? You think this is all, would you buy this? Yes, I would buy this. Or no, Stacy, you're crazy. No, I would never buy a deal like this. I would like to get your feedback on that as well too. I think this one is the perfect first deal. I think this is really the perfect first deal. Now this is kind of a higher end. My deals that I bought, my very first ones were like 200 to 300,000. But if you can't afford a deal like this, they're out there in tertiary markets. Tertiary markets, this is where they are. And there's nothing wrong with buying in a tertiary market. So if you listen to other people that are teaching oh, you have to buy 50,000 square foot facilities, I'm going to tell you, you do not have to do that. All right. You can build mini portfolios if you want to do that. Or you can just get your foot in the door. One of my students, their very first facility was a $300,000 facility. Their second facility is a $3 million facility. All right. There's nothing wrong with buying a smaller facility and buying a whole bunch. We buy a lot of smaller facilities rather than going out and just buying one big, huge facility. Right? We buy a lot of smaller facilities, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong way. Because I just feel like sometimes people feel and one of my students, he messaged somebody and said, hey, I got this deal under contract. It's $400,000. I already got the money. I'm going to build. What do you think about it? And the guy was like, never, ever buy any storage facility that's less than 50,000 square feet. You'll never make any money on it. And I'm just saying that's a bunch of BS. All right. It's okay to buy these types of deals as well too, because look at the numbers. All right. It's like somebody told me there's no such thing as abandoned storage facilities. And I was like, I bought one. I know there's abandoned storage facilities. So, okay. All right. Maddie says, yes, I would buy the deal. I like the seller financing terms too. And you'll never know if they're going to sell or finance unless you ask them. Frank says, love the deal, especially with an owner like the one you're dealing with. I know he's such a nice guy. Jerry met him. He's such a nice guy. What kind of market? Tertiary markets. Tertiary markets means country, in the middle of nowhere, right? So not primary, right? Not secondary, which is like the burbs. Tertiary, which is like country outside past all the burbs and in between Jacksonville and Tallahassee. That would be tertiary market. And guess what? There's people living there and they all need storage. Okay. All right. I appreciate it. And I will see you guys. Make appointments and talk to me if you're interested. Okay. StorageNerds.com. Take care. Bye. Have a good evening. Bye.